Chad, why are you so crazy? I love you.
You ready?
Yeah. Take one.
You awake now?
I'm awake now. One of my most humiliating experiences ever on a stage. This was when Robert Barney decided to do an all a cappella concert. But he wanted me on stage to give the starting pitches. Give it up. But even better, I had my music out of order. So I gave the wrong starting pitch. They started singing and it was totally in the wrong key. They had to stop and restart it. It was awesome. I had one job and it was the wrong one. Where I first saw an organ play was at the Coronado Theater, the big 2,000-seat atmospheric, amazing facility. And they have a big 4-manual Wurlitzer organ there. And I remember seeing that concert when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I was like, I want to play that. I got hired at Radio City Music Hall at the age of 15 to be the organist and also rehearsal pianist for the Rockettes. And I graduated high school, moved out to New York City by myself and got the job. So I made it into Ripley's as the youngest full-time musician to ever work on Broadway. After I had my career, I decided to go to school. And I took a year off to recenter myself and then applied to New England Conservatory as a composition major. And then I got my undergrad and master's degree in composition. I was just working for various churches. I was working for various community theater groups. I really didn't have much going on in the full-time music gig. And then an ad showed up, Boston Gay Men's Chorus, looking for assistant music director and full-time accompanist. Boston Gay Men's Chorus. I never even heard of the Boston Gay Men's Chorus. And I said, oh, a full-time chorus gig. And, what does that mean? Like one concert a year? And you know, I was clueless. You know. I go to the audition, and Robert Barney was the director then.
Chad had been involved in Radio City Music Hall, and I felt that that would be the right kind of brilliant pianist, brilliant arranger, and knowledgeable of pop music to help me with my deficiency in that area.
So they picked me. They called me and said, we'd like to join. So I show up for the first rehearsal, and this gentleman comes up to me and says, hi, I'm Daryl, how are you? Oh, I'm Chad. He says, oh, this is where I sit, he said to me. Right? Oh, so, oh no, I'm the new accompanist here. This is my first night. And he's like, I'm the accompanist. Awkward moment. At that point, I saw a board member come over, tap Daryl on the shoulder, says, can we go talk outside for a minute? That was the last I saw Daryl. But it was an incredibly awkward way to start my first rehearsal.
When I first heard about you, I wasn't quite sure whether you were the right fit for the chorus. Then you played, and it just was amazing to watch you, to hear what comes out of your fingers. And many times I even ask people around me, how many fingers does he have? Because it just doesn't seem like 10 fingers could make that extraordinary sound that you pull out of that piano.
We had a prior accompanist to the chorus who I thought was amazing. I did not know what amazing was until you came along. And you just surpassed all of my expectations, all the expectations of everyone in the chorus.
I thought growing up that I played many years of piano and I was a pianist. And then I joined my chorus, and then I sat at my first rehearsal, and then I saw Chad play. And from that moment, I basically said, well, I guess I just tickled the ivory a little. This guy can play.
He's not always playing what's written. Actually, he's rarely playing what's written. And I finally tuned into that, and I learned a lot by how he was accompanying the chorus and different ways he was playing the harmony to really support us.
I teach a class at the high school called Complete Musician. I always tell them, always be open to any opportunity. I said, don't have such blinders on. I'm going to be first chair violinist in the Boston Symphony Orchestra and nothing else. He says, keep your eyes open because something could open up over here that you never planned on. And this arranging thing is the thing that opened up for me that I never in a million years planned on. When Robert Barney asked me to do that arrangement, I said, I'll bang out something. But I found it really interesting. This is an interesting challenge. And then to have it performed. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, how many other my fellow classmates are writing music that's getting performed? They're writing shelf music. They write it, they stick it in a drawer, and it never gets seen again. My stuff is getting played.
The way you not only arranged music, the way you put your heart into the music was the most amazing thing that anyone could have ever done.
Chad was this great arranger, and it was a no-brainer that we should hire Chad. Chad is a great pianist also, but I think the arranger bit was why we hired Chad.
I mean, I have to give him a lot of credit. A, he's the one who hired me, so without him, I would not be here. Secondly, he's the one who asked me to do the first arrangement. I had never arranged for a men's chorus before. My early arrangements were not great. I know that, but I learned so much writing for the chorus. And having this live laboratory that I could experiment with has helped me tremendously. I'm thrilled, and it's all because Robert Barney asked me to write that silly little Silent Night arrangement. That is a piece of crap, by the way. I think after all of them, my all-time favorite is You'll Never Walk Alone, because the words meant a lot to me, and it was one that I was able to change the feel of the piece from this just big operatic ballad, and there was something about it that spoke to me, and the gospel-y R&B beat I was able to put to it, and the way the chorus sings it just was better than I even heard in my head. I'm beyond touched by that. I mean, some of it is obviously the words, which I didn't write, but obviously speak to people on so many levels. And I'd like to think that the spin I took on the music, giving it not this Broadway, let's just belt it out, but I was hoping that by giving it this R&B gospel, it brings a little bit of the spiritual into it. And I thought that might bring a little bit more gravitas to the piece. When we did You'll Never Walk Alone, and to see people in the audience who, I don't know if they understood the language or not, but just to feel the power of what was going on and to see them visibly emotionally moved was everything. It was a high school outreach concert. And after that concert, we went on our merry way and went home. People reacted to it. And I received an email at Wellesley High School from a kid saying that song, for whatever reason, really spoke to them. And they said, thank you so much for that song and for your arrangement of that song. I'm like, oh, well, that was nice. And there was a kid at the high school that knew these people, so I'm guessing that's how they knew to reach out to me. I said, oh, I heard from so-and-so, your friend, so-and-so. Oh, yes, they're a transgender person who's currently been bullied right and left at school. And we're going through a really tough time. And they needed that piece. So that stuck.
Your arrangements are extraordinary. You know, like it's a joy to sing them. Sometimes I like them better than like the original songs.
Every moment that you're with us is a blessing, and I hope you continue for many, many more.
And thank you for always bringing us into the magic, into the fantasy that is in your head through your incredible musical talent.
You're just a genius in music, and when you get to harness that and really hone your craft, the amount of amazing music that you can put into the world and how many lives you get to change with it. And so for that, Chad, I'm eternally grateful for the ability to sing with you while you play, the ability to sing your music, the ability to just be in your presence when you work. Thank you. We are very fortunate to have you in our lives.
they changed my life, and I guess I can help now. What a journey.